Hi everyone, hope we're all doing really well. Today I'm coming at you with a brand new video, and this one is going to be about how to level up and be a baddie. But before we get into it, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you get notified every single time I upload a new video. Let's get into it. Cause I be the baddie bee, Bobby tings, bang body bee, everybody be on my D. Hey. Okay, so there are only 3 tips to actually level up and be a baddie, so let's not waste any time and just dive right into it. Tip number 1 is realize your worth and practice self-love. You essentially just have to realize that you are worth it to get whatever it is that you want. You do need to put in the work, but you need to first recognize that you are worth it enough to even put the effort in. You can basically achieve anything you want because you know that you are worth it. So anything that comes into your mind, you can be like, if it's put into my mind, it means that I was meant for it. For example, if you don't think that you're worth it and you have all of these negative thoughts about yourself, how are you going to use that, utilize it, and put it into leveling up? You can't, because you're stuck in this constant cycle. So I would really suggest writing down, or if you're not into writing down, maybe just record yourself and be like, hey, I'm not going to show this to anyone, I'm going to delete it as soon as I talk, but pretend like you're talking to someone. For me personally, when I put everything down on paper, it's laid out, I have all of it there, and I can, organize my thoughts a lot easier. If you just write down what it is that you hate about yourself, or things that are negative, that are constant negative repeating cycles, take half an hour out and just write down all of it, put it out on paper, and just that alone helps massively into going on to the process of practicing self-love. Why is it that you're thinking that? What happened in your childhood and teenage years that has created, a lot of people talk about childhood, but teenage years are also very important as to shaping who you are as a person. We don't really stop developing ever, but scientifically our brains stop developing at 21 to 25. And we don't stop going until then. So it's very important to realize that those were the foundational years, and you have to really be like, okay, what has happened during that time for me to think like this? And then you unravel it, and then you have the opportunity to tell yourself that the present moment is the only moment that's real right now, and that you can change that. That no longer applies to you. The past could not reside in the present, and whatever you decide you want to be, you can be. Additionally, I love playing subliminals while I'm sleeping of affirmations saying I love myself and I love my body. So that really helps me, along with rose quartz. I really love crystals, and rose quartz is really about love and self-love and stuff like that. So I feel like that has personally helped me. I'm not an expert on crystals, but the 2 that I do have really have helped me in terms of self-love and career and all of that kind of stuff. Once you play around with all of these different tactics to use, that's going to be the best thing for you, because it's so easy to just say employ self-love, but it's really hard to actually implement. It's something that I work on, I have to work on every single day, and everyone has to work on every single day, and constantly keep reminding themselves that you're worth it just as you are. You have been through good and bad, you've taken that, you've learned, and you know what you want, and that's great, and you're going to work on it towards the future. Because a lot of people I know are like, oh, I'm too fat for that, I'm never going to lose this 20 kilogram weight. Most of the time this isn't even on the surface. A lot of people do want to lose the weight, but then subconsciously they're like, well, why isn't it working? And you realize that it's actually yourself, and you're sabotaging yourself because you don't truly deep down love yourself. So in order to truly level up, truly be a bad bitch, you have to have self-love within yourself. You don't accept anything more than what you are worth. And if you think that you're worth something very high, then you don't accept things coming at you that are lower than your standards, if that makes sense. So if someone is treating you incorrectly, if there's a boy that's, not seeing you enough and giving you all of these excuses, this is the classic example. If you don't have self-love, then you're like, oh, I'm worth it enough. This is my worth. This is how I should be treated because, I cost $20. He's giving me the amount that I see within myself, right? As opposed to if you're you can't put a price on it, but let's just say I'm worth $1 million, right? And someone is coming at you and giving you $20 things, replying really late, 24 hours late, or giving you excuses and canceling last minute, or texting you at all hours of the night being like, you up? No. I'm not up. First of all, it's not even gonna come to you as an option at that point. But let's just say in some aspects of the universe, some fluke happened and this happened to you. It would go right over your head and you'd just be like, oh, I know that you didn't text me that. And you just forget about it because your worth is at 1,000,000. So it's like, imagine if someone goes into a Chanel store and tries to pay for something and gives you a $20 bill. You okay, sir? Like, that will be 2K, please. What is this? Like, so you have to treat yourself like a Chanel wallet, basically. Tip number 2, find your lane and stay in it. Why look at competition or people that you see as competition or other people in general and other people's lives, like unless they're your friends or you're doing it for inspirational purposes to, you know, fuel your own energy in order for you to get better, you know what I mean? Why look at other people? Rapping is a huge thing right now. I don't know how many people on SoundCloud right now are actually doing it because they're passionate about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people can be doing it for the money or for the attention or for the girls. That's not going to lead you in the right path, and that is like such a waste of time. It will come off as inauthentic and you will see that you can't be your full potential when you're not living out your purpose. What does this have to do with anything? When you find one lane, for example, if you're really into makeup, that's all you want to do, you find your lane and you stay in it. You don't look at what other people are doing, number one. You don't look at what James Charles is doing. Love you, king. If you are doing makeup, you don't try to copy James Charles or you don't compare yourself with James Charles because you're only competing with yourself. And similarly, you can't be like, when the next big thing is like going to the gym and working out and stuff, you can't be like, oh my God, like I'm gonna get this fat ass because everyone on YouTube is doing it. You're not on the same life path. Everyone has their own journey. Do you know what I mean? The same thing is like, I'm a filmmaker, right? There are filmmakers out there who have made it at 20 years old. There is this Russian dude, oh my God, shout outs, I freaking love you. He's like 21, right? And he has filmed for some of the biggest Russian rappers in the industry, and he's actually started when A Lot came out. He directed A Lot, the music video, and he also directed Red Room. That's very hard in itself, like someone in Russia to be directing, but let alone he's 21 years old. Like, am I going to be like, oh my God, let me look at his life path and like see how I can implement this? No, he had his own set of experiences that led him to whatever it is that he's doing. You are wasting your own energy looking at what other people are doing when you can be using that energy to grow your skills in being a music video director, if that makes sense. People don't actually understand that there is a certain amount of energy that we use every single day, and our energy is sacred. For you to be wasting it on other people's lives, checking what other people are doing, unless it's like your career and your job and your passion, or you're a reporter or something, that is a complete different thing. Find your lane firstly, stay in it. Don't look at anyone else. Just keep growing your own garden because you can't tend to anyone else's. And if you even try, you are wasting time and you are wasting energy. Energy and time that can be put into your business, into your finances, into your career, into your resources and your life. And tip number 3, this is obvious, but take care of your inner and your outer beauty. Every single aspect of outer and inner beauty you should be taking care of. And this doesn't mean all in one day. There are so many different aspects to personal development. There are so many aspects to beauty in terms of, you know, hair, makeup, you know, body goals, skin goals, like all of that. And it can be very daunting, but once your insides match up with your outsides match up with your insides, everything just coincides and goes together. That's also practicing self-love and showing to yourself that you are worth it enough to keep on growing and getting better. Obviously, the inner beauty is just as important as the outer beauty. So just like there are different categories of beauty on the outside, there are different self-development books. Like there's like finances and law of attraction, spirituality, like being social, communicating with people. And so it's impossible to do it all in one day, all in 1 week, or whatever the case may be. But keeping that in mind and having a list of like literally all of the freaking like beauty things that you need to take care of and all of the like inside beauty that you need to take care of, and it's all just gonna come together beautifully, and you are literally going to be like a 10 out of 10 bad bitch. It's really hard to develop yourself on the outside and on the inside simultaneously, but when you write it all down and you have this like kind of blueprint of what you want to work towards, you are literally going to get the ball rolling and keep getting better at basically everything, and that's going to enable you to be the baddest bee ever. So I hope that that made sense and that provided you with some value. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.